Welcome to Unfinished Business, the podcast where we talk to business owners and community leaders about what it takes to build a thriving business and the lessons that are learned along the way, as well as what is still left unfinished in their journey. I'm your host, Kimberly Griggs, and today I am joined by Doug Sims, who is the founder of Bees Fundraising. Doug is someone who genuinely leads with service and a servant heart. And as an official Butter Braid dealer for the Texas Panhandle, his company has helped countless schools and clubs and organizations meet their fundraising goals, one delicious pastry at a time. Behind the scenes, there's a lot more going on than just selling treats. Doug is also very passionate about supporting people and giving them the tools that they need to succeed. So today, we will be talking about what it takes to grow a purpose-driven business, build trust in your community, and why a good fundraising partner can make all the difference. So Doug, I want to really thank you for being here. Thank you for sitting down and taking the time to visit with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, me too. Well, Doug, let's just kind of start at the beginning. What first got you into the world of fundraising? Give us a little bit of your background.
Well, I started Bees Fundraising in 2017. I actually found Butter Braid pastries when I was doing kind of my past life. I was a surgical representative where I go into the OR and I consult with doctors on different products and things like that. And I did that for over 25 years. And I was actually in a nurse's lounge in Mount Vernon, Illinois, waiting for our case to start. There was a Butter Braid order form laying there on the table in the nurse's lounge. A lady came in and she kind of flipped out. She said, "It's Butter Braid time, it's Butter Braid time." And I didn't have a clue what she was talking about, but I noticed she ordered 5 of them and spent about $75. Nobody there trying to prompt her, nobody trying to sell her. And she left, and I thought, wow, that lady really likes butter braids, whatever that is. Well, I sat there, my case was delayed for about an hour, and that particular situation reoccurred 5 times independent of each other. Different people coming in, spending various amounts of money, some of them spending over $100 on this butter braid thing.
Yeah.
I looked at the order form and I realized it was a fundraiser. And that kind of baffled me because I thought, a fundraiser that somebody wants to buy from? Because I have 9 grandsons. And in fact, that's how we get Bees Fundraising. Bees is actually my grandpa's name. And when my grandsons approach me for fundraisers, obviously I'm willing to help them. But usually I have to look through the book and buy the $15 spatula I could get at Walmart for 99 cents. And so, people don't get excited about fundraising, but these people were excited. So I came home, did research. This was in the fall of 2016. Ended up becoming the exclusive dealer for the Texas Panhandle South Plains, service even beyond that. In April 2017, we opened our doors. So that's the long story of how it all came together.
Yeah. Was there a moment that you realized that this was really going to be, more than a job, but really a calling?
I think probably maybe 2018 when I realized I didn't have enough cold storage to meet the demand, because that's one of the challenges I had to face relatively quickly, because the product comes in frozen. I deliver it frozen. And then that way the end user gets a fresh hot pastry because they keep it in their freezer until they want it, set it out overnight, let it bake or let it rise, bake it in the morning, and they've got a fresh hot pastry. So that's part of the challenge of dealing with frozen product. But I got up to 16 large, and when I say large, the size a human could crawl in these chest freezers. I had 16 of them on my property. And that still wasn't enough, so I had to buy a freezer trailer and go to Georgia and get a freezer trailer. So I realized this thing was happening. It was happening. So
It's safe to say or surmise that people are crazy for butter braids, but for those out there that have not experienced them, give us a little bit of an overview of what butter braids is and offers and about the product itself.
Okay, Butter Braid Pastries actually started in 1991. A couple by the name of Ken and Marlene Banworth out of West Bend, Iowa. They had a family recipe. They made the bread. Ended up taking it to the local market. It just flew. They grew from their kitchen to their basement to a garage to, and ended up here we now today have like 65 exclusive dealers across the nation. Butter braids are only sold through fundraisers. That's the only way you can get a butter braid pastry. But for those that don't know, as I mentioned earlier, they come frozen. You'll take them out of your freezer when you get ready, let them rise overnight about 8 to 12 hours, get up in the morning and bake it for about 25 minutes, and you've got a fresh hot pastry, one of 10 different flavors. Yeah. In fact, we one of our sayings is experience the wow, because
They are.
people that have, I get excited when I find people that don't know what a butter braid pastry is. So we're talking 34 years these have been around.
Goodness.
And I get excited when somebody hasn't tried a butter braid pastry and they get to try a sample and I'm in their presence because
Tell me
they're,
describe that moment. Describe
well, it's,
what they say to you.
I would tell you the majority of the time it's a double take. You know, it's like they get a bite and they're like, oh yeah. And then it's like they wake up and it's like, what was that? Usually oftentimes they'll say, where do I get them? Where do I get it? Where has this been? And so um, they create their own demand. They do.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Give us the most popular flavors, just so we know.
Strawberries and cream cheese is hands down the biggest seller, and it really it kind of fluctuates from there. Believe it or not, cherry, just straight cherry, carries a lot of weight. Cinnamon rolls, and then we have that four cheese and herb, which is a savory one. I mean, those four will kind of bounce around to see who's going to be. Well, I shouldn't say the other three. Strawberries and cream cheese is always number one,
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, it's a hit.
It's amazing. It's
So
amazing.
let's talk about the fundraising in itself. So give us kind of an overview of how you got started building relationships, first with schools, but let's talk about some of the other fundraisers that you or groups that you work with for fundraising opportunities as well.
Okay. Really, when I very first started, I kind of joke about it. I said if you could fog a mirror, you were going to get a butter braid sample. I mean, I went and I sampled and sampled and sampled and sampled. And I always say, if I can get you to taste a butter braid pastry, I've got you. The product is just that good. So yeah, just a lot of samples, just a lot of, just hard work, getting out there, letting people know. The the fundraising industry can be kind of tough at times because companies will overpromise and underdeliver.
How so?
That
Tell me what you mean by that.
Okay. So they'll say, hey, you can make 50% profit on the product, and then we'll deliver it to you. Well, what they don't tell you is you have to sell 10,000 of these items to get to a 50% profit because they have a tiered profit level. If you're only selling 250 of them, you may be making 30% profit. And so the tiered level of it becomes something that you've got to be aware of as a group leader. When they say they deliver it, oftentimes that's on a truck with a lift gate and it's on a pallet and they drop it off outside your school and they have delivered the product.
So
And
no
so,
sorting, no going to
no,
the right classrooms, all of that is left up to the school?
it's left up to the group leader, whichever organization is trying to run it. They're going to have that job of sorting, getting the right product to the right people. It really it becomes difficult for them and it becomes hard. So therefore, kind of the foundation of what I do, I've been blessed to have mentors within our exclusive dealership, and one of them up out of Ohio told me, he said, if you can make fundraising your job and not the group leader's job, it changes everything. So
Mm.
I tell my group leaders, fundraising is my job. It's not your job. So my job is to make the group leader's position as easy as possible. And what I mean by that is they don't have to worry about filling out forms. I fill out all those forms out. They don't have to worry about the kickoff. I'll do the kickoff. They don't have to worry about sorting. I do the sorting. They don't have to worry about delivery. I do the delivery.
Yeah.
Um, my job is to make their job as a group leader very easy and not something they just dislike, they hate. They don't want to do it. And so many people out there have experienced the other side of it. They're almost hesitant at times to do a fundraiser because they have in their mind, oh no, I don't want to mess with having to
Too
get
much time and hassle.
exactly. And so I think that's one of the reasons we've been able to connect. And our retention rate is so high because I've been told countless numbers of time, this is the easiest fundraiser I've ever done. And so that's, uh, that's the goal for me, is to make it very easy on my group leaders.
So killer product,
Yes.
turnkey strategy as far
Yes.
as, how you became successful. Let's talk about the results. So give us some of the best fundraisers that you've seen here in the Texas Panhandle with groups that you've worked with.
I have one group here in Amarillo that consistently raises over $20,000 a year for their organization. Yeah, I mean it's a middle school music organization here in town. We've worked together for I don't know, this 6 or 7 years now, and they are a dream to work with. Just developed a relationship. They're my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, they again, in fact, they do their entire fundraiser online. And what that means
Yeah.
is rather than having the order form, which we always recommend doing the order form and an online because they actually, the statistics show that they complement each other very well.
Okay.
But this large group, because when you've got 625 kids, but really honestly about 150 participate, it's still a lot to gather up all the order forms, deal with all the money, and turn that in. Well, they do it all online, so therefore they don't have any order forms to collect. They don't have any orders to enter online themselves as group leaders. They don't have to collect money from the students. It's all handled online through our software. And so I collect the order, I sort the order, and then at delivery last fall, because they run fall and spring, that's how they get that much. Last fall, I wrote them over a $15,000 check.
Wow.
So that's another part of kind of my strategy in the business is try make it as simple as possible. Because once you get all those tiers and then you have maybe a delivery fee on top of it, and by the time everything kind of washes out, I mean, even some of my competitors, they'll charge order form fees. So yeah, if you get order forms, well, you're going to pay this fee. And if they customize the order form for you, they're going to pay it. You're going to pay a fee for that. And there's all these fees. So what I try to do, or what I do, is I require no contracts. I require no minimums because a lot of my competitors require a 2 or 3 year contract to lock them up on their services. But I require no contracts. I require no minimums, which a lot of companies out there require a minimum. So you have to order at least 100 or 1,000 or whatever. I require no delivery fees. I require no hidden fees whatsoever. Straightforward. You make 40% from $1. So therefore the product, the Butter Braid pastries sell for $18. So our customers make $7.20. So if they sell 100, they make $720. If they sell 1,000, they make $7,200. The math is just so simple,
Yeah.
and they don't have to worry about it.
Straightforward, simple and easy.
Simple, easy. I really try to underpromise and overdeliver. That's really what I try to do. And so
Doug, what's a common question you get from someone who's a first-time fundraising client for you? Walk us through the process if somebody was looking to bring this into their organization to help raise some money.
well, what they'll say is, I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And my response is to them, that's the reason I'm here, is to walk you through it. So we actually have a very simple form that we ask for some information like, do you want to run just online? Would you? And we talk to them about the statistics and the analytics about what's the most successful fundraiser, but we gather information from them so we can customize their order form. All that, we send them a little email, they send that back to us. That gathers all the information. I'll talk to them about how they need to, well, let me back up. To be successful as a group leader in running a fundraiser, what I would tell you is the most successful ones dive in 100%. It's not we're going to start a fundraiser today and you turn it in 2 weeks. And then we don't talk about it. We don't think about it. That's not the successful ones. The successful ones are, they make known that we're starting a fundraiser today. This is an opportunity to help. So, because fundraisers in schools, let's just talk about bands. Something I have learned, I used to always think, well, the school's going to pay for the band to go down to the regional music festival or the regional down at the Civic Center. And the school's going to pay for all that. Well, the band departments, choir, orchestra, whoever, don't get that much money. And it's quite expensive. I mean, to the tune of about $500 a bus just to go from a school down to the Civic Center.
Yeah.
So the band, music choir, whoever gets charged that. And so therefore, if they don't rely on any fundraisers, they might not even be able to do one trip. So the fundraisers allow the students to experience things that they could not do otherwise. Yeah. And the way I view it is I'm really helping students experience things that they cannot experience otherwise. I'm helping families not have to write checks for band shirts and band fees and reeds and just all the things that you need to make a successful program. So I talked to him about if we're trying to alleviate this pressure here of not having funds, let's dive in 100%. So let's make this thing special. Let's talk to them about it every day, because what'll happen for those that just say, hey, we're starting a fundraiser today, here's the order form, those students will put it in their backpack and they won't remember it until the day it's due. And more than likely, they won't remember it that day because the teacher will say, hey, turn your order forms in. And they're like, I don't have a clue where it's at. Yeah. The successful ones will talk about it every day. Who have you talked to? Have you talked to your parents about it? Have you talked to your grandparents about it?
Yeah.
The successful ones, they really do keep it at the forefront.
So I have a couple of questions regarding that. So one, you mentioned you're responsible for a kickoff. What does a kickoff include? Like, how do you get these kids excited about selling essentially butter braids?
Okay. I tell them my story. I tell them, you can call me Bees because I'm a grandpa. And so more than likely I have a grandson that's about the age of the people that I'm talking to, because I have so many of them. And so I talk to him about butter braids. I tell them they're going to get a sample at the end. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. In
We
fact,
work for food and t-shirts, right?
yes. Yes. It's funny when I walk in to a group that I've been working with for years, they're like, it's Butter Braid Day! It's Butter Braid Day! And they're so excited.
Yeah. That's how you know you got a great product.
There you go. There you go. They don't know me as Doug or Bees. They know me as the Butter Braid guy.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah. So I'll talk to them about that. I'll answer any questions. I'll make sure they understand this is not a door-to-door sales thing. We want to be safe. We want to be smart. I talk to them about the people that, think about your grandparents, think about your family, think about people at church. And we'll just kind of talk through those things, and I'll answer questions for them. And then they get the butter braid. And that's how I get them so excited, because they get the butter braid sample.
Yeah. Then they can sell it because they have a rave review.
Yeah. Well, a common question after they tasted it is, can I buy these for myself?
Was my personal experience when I sampled.
Yeah. 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 And I can't tell you how many have told me, I'm buying 1,000,000 just by myself. And I always tell them, well, can you please at least give me a week or two notice, because I'm going to have to order some more product if you're buying 1,000,000.
Yeah. So my follow-up question is, when you mention online, so when they conduct an online version of the fundraiser, is it a link that the kids get that they can send out to grandparents, friends, family, whatnot? It's that simple?
Yes. Yeah. We customize Let's just say we're working with Amarillo High Sandy Steppers, which is a long time client of mine. So we build a online store for the Amarillo Sandy Steppers, and I think I messed it up. Amarillo High Sandy Steppers. That's right. That's right.
Yes.
But anyway, there's a store with a link, or excuse me, there's a link that takes them to the store. Now, each individual seller is listed in that store, their first name, last initial. If I was one in there, it would say Doug S. And
Gotcha.
then, so therefore, my family, my friends would go to Doug S, click on it, and it opens up the store. And then
Okay.
they fill their cart and pay with a debit or credit card. Now, I always ask the students, I say, what happens when you buy online? And they'll often say, well, it's shipped to you. And I said, that's exactly right. But that's not what is happening here. They're going to order online. They're going to pay online. The advantage is you don't have to write anything down. You don't have to turn anything in. They don't have to collect any money. They don't have to keep up with any money.
That's
All that
so great.
information, yeah, all that
I have
information
a
is captured.
question.
Yes, yes. All that information is captured, goes directly to the store. And then when I deliver it to you, I'm going to give you a report that says Kimberly Griggs just ordered a blueberry, an apple, and a strawberry cream cheese. This is her address. This is her phone number. And oh, by the way, she wrote a note here that you need to deliver it between 3 and 5. Just give me a call. I explained to him that's the way the delivery goes down.
So it's all organized for the student to then deliver the product to whomever.
Right, right. So I'll deliver the product usually at the end of the day, and I have a freezer trailer that's at about a -10 degrees. So we pull it out of the freezer trailer. We'll set it up in the band hall or whatever hall. The students will come in and say we've got 100 sellers. I've got a master list. This is the part that the group leaders love. We walk in, and if I was selling, I said, my name's Doug Sims. We look on the master list. Oh, you're number 37. That's your 3 boxes. We go over to the line of product, grab those 3 boxes, hand it to the person, and say you've got 2 to 4 hours to get it delivered or back into a freezer
Gotcha.
because it's a frozen product. And I always tell them, I said, if somebody's so kind and so generous and to support us in what we're trying to do, pay. Let's make sure we give them a good quality product. Let's deliver a good quality product.
Mhm.
And so, anyway, that's the way the delivery works, the online works.
Excellent. So let's talk about just your total time in business. How much money has been raised as a part of Bees fundraising collectively?
Yeah, we're between 1.4 and 1.5 million dollars right now. Yeah, we're our clip is somewhere in the 150 to 175,000 dollars a year is what we're currently raising, and it just keeps kind of trending up. Obviously, the more people we get involved, the more money that's raised. But yeah, it's very humbling just to think that we've helped. I mean, we've helped families not have to write checks, and the
Yes.
students
And
get to
so
see
many,
things.
yeah, absolutely. From
Yeah,
sports to band to art.
yeah.
What other types of unique fundraising opportunities have you been able to be a part of?
One that's near and dear to my heart is church camps. We've helped a lot of kids get to go to church camp. I work with my church, and we do some special things at our church for our kids. And in fact, I got a thank you note just this week from a student that said that they got to go to church camp. And so, yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff. Yeah. We've helped people that are going through cancer treatments. We don't raise the hundreds of thousands of dollars, but we can help them with maybe some lodging and food and yeah. I mean, you you can think of a worthy cause, and we've probably helped it at some point in time. Always tell people, now if you're wanting to you're wanting to raise money for spring break to Cancun, I don't know that I can help you with that one. But if you're trying to do if you're trying to do on a mission trip, or if you're trying to raise money for a baseball team going to nationals, or I mean basketball, I mean, yeah,
So that's
we've
interesting.
helped.
So there are some out of the box opportunities for
Yeah,
people. So
Yes.
this is just curious and somewhat timely and newsworthy, but have you had any requests to help our neighbors in the South?
Nobody's reached out to us yet. Now, I will tell you, we have a dealership down in New Braunfels. We've been in communication all around, but honestly, right now, our product, I think the need and the effort that it would take, it can be better used in volunteering and that kind of stuff versus, sell butter braids at this point in time. But yeah, we're in communication with them and all their family's fine. And they do have people that, yeah, that they know that have experienced loss. So anyway,
Yeah, I was just curious.
no, that's a good question. We're here
So
to help.
how does the process, if somebody was interested, if someone's looking to try to break for whatever reason, for typical schools and things like that that are going to be coming up in the fall, or for any ancillary needs, what do they need to do first? How do they find you?
Well, you can go and search Bees Fundraising, and Kimberly, you probably understand that part better than I do. As far as that, they can obviously go online and search for Bees Fundraising. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and all those places. So we're trying not to make it too hard to find us. And you can always, you'll see my truck around town. If you see a bee and trees and a beehive and it says Bees Fundraising on the side, phone number is there. I've even got a QR code on the side of my truck, on the side of my trailers. So yeah, yeah.
That for those listening, we will link up all the contact information to contact Doug in the show notes as well. So, a couple of final questions for you, Doug. What is still left unfinished for you? What's the big mission for Bees Fundraising?
Honestly, just to help as many people as we can. It's just, like I said, I've got 9 grandsons, I've got 3 grown children, and their kids or my grandkids are the ones that are having to raise money to do all those kind of things. And I know it's just a challenge with everything else going up. If there's some way I can help, definitely that's what I want to do. I've hired another employee over in the western Oklahoma because I go all the way into Oklahoma. We even service Kansas. I am actively looking for someone in Lubbock to help. The business is doing well enough. I need some help down there as well. That's part of unfinished business. Yeah, we've been so blessed. I mean, to think back when I began on it, April 25th, 2017. I had 4 medium-sized chest freezer and a pickup and a dolly. Now we have multiple trailers. We have a 20 by 20 walk-in freezer, we have forklift. There's just the infrastructure that's been built over the last 8 years. I was talking to my wife about it just this last week. It's kind of mind-boggling to think where we started and where we are today. Just who knows where we're going to end up. So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
that's.
that's a testament to a good mission, a good product, great customer service, and simplicity. So,
Well, thank
Doug,
you.
I want to thank you for your story, sharing your heart with all of us today, and also just being a light in the community for many people, many families, many kids getting opportunities that they may not have otherwise. You're a great reminder that business can be more than just about profit. It can be about purpose and community and lifting others up. And so I thank you and I want to acknowledge you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And again, guys, if you want to learn more about Bees fundraising, or you are looking for a fresh way to raise support for your school, your team, your organization, or even individuals that you might know that might be in need, again, we'll link all of the ways to contact Doug in the show notes. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to Unfinished Business, and we'll see you next time.